guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover my life, how I'm tackling debt while prioritizing self-care. Today I'm going to be covering my January budget recap, so if that's something that you're interested in, then stay tuned. This month did not go as planned, and I'm going to just take you guys through everything. There were some pros, but there were a lot of cons that could have been avoided. But you know, it is what it is. We're a work in progress here, so I'm gonna take you guys through everything now. So I know I mentioned on my last video that I was going to go on a girls trip, 2 girls trips possibly. So I actually didn't go on either of them, but the one that was for the ski trip, I did pay for the Airbnb, so I still had to pay the $130 for that. I just felt like it was the best thing to do, just because, you know, I pulled out pretty late. The COVID cases in my area were skyrocketing. I think they were at like 12 to 15%, and I just didn't feel comfortable doing it at that time. I live with 4 other people, as you guys know, so I just don't want to be selfish in that way. So yeah, I decided not to go. I did give my friend a birthday gift, so that was done, and I did set aside $1,000 for continued education, so I was also very happy with that. So let's get into the income and the expenses. So my planned income for the month was $4,261.22, and my actual income for the month was $5,415.04. So that was definitely a pro. Obviously, especially with me setting aside $1,000 for continued education, the additional money definitely helped out there. I planned to pay $426.12 towards tithes. I ended up paying $487.25. It doesn't exactly match the 5,415 as you'll notice, and the main reason for that is because some of them were gifts, and the way that I look at my tithes is like, okay, so say if someone bought me a bag, right, for a gift, I'm not going to bring 10% of the bag to church. Like, I'm not going to do that. So I don't do that with gifts. It's a personal preference on how you set that up, but that's just how I set mine up. So let's get into the rest of my expenses. So rent was $200 planned, and I actually spent $200. My phone was $40, and I spent $40. Like I said, I still have the 7 Plus, and it's paid off, so my phone bill's only $40. My auto insurance was planned for $127, and I paid $127. My gas, I was so upset about this, I always planned $37. For most of quarantine, I've actually been coming under just because the gas prices have been so low, but they're definitely taking a turn and they're creeping back up, and I ended up paying $37.12. I usually am so good with just like timing it, but I was distracted. I was on my phone at the time talking to somebody, and I wasn't paying attention to the pump. So once I realized, I was already 12 cents over, and I was so upset about it, but you know, it is what it is. So food, okay, I really messed up. So I planned $200, and I ended up spending $287.74. So as you guys know, I plan to go on those trips, and I plan to indulge while I was away. So since I didn't get to go on those trips, I figured I'd treat myself a little bit, but I didn't mean to treat myself $87.74 over much, but it happened, and you know, I don't really regret it, just because I know I would have spent far more on the trip, but yeah, definitely something to improve in the future. So for Denver's expenses, I planned $30. That's for like food, toys, any other things that I need to get for him, any type of supplies, and I ended up spending $42.40. He ran out of bags, so I had to re-up on that. He ran out of some treats, so I had to re-up on that. And then I had to get him some more puppy food. There was actually one puppy food transaction that I only spent 40 cents, but my 2 other transactions were a little bit larger. So yeah, that's kind of what happened there. So for clothing, I budgeted $25, and I ended up spending $24.21. So I was super happy about that, coming under budget and not splurging too much. I actually did a Banana Republic haul where I spent under $3 on 4 items. So if you guys haven't seen that, be sure to check that out. I was just so happy about that one. But yeah, I also made some other purchases as well for the month. So for personal care, I planned $40 and I ended up spending $292.21. Yes, extremely over, but I'm gonna get into why that happened later on in the video. But yeah, I definitely splurged on myself for personal care this month. For fun money, I planned $25 and I spent $25. For Apple Music, I planned $4.99 and I spent $4.99. For miscellaneous, I planned $150 and I spent $181.24. Similar to kind of the food thing, I just kind of did a little bit more spending just to treat myself. So I wasn't too upset with that. Only $30 over. And for Denver's pet insurance, $46.14, and I spent $46.14. So let's get into some of my unplanned expenses for the month. So I decided to book a birthday trip for myself. I never do anything fun for my birthday, and I never really celebrate myself, and there was just so many great things that I accomplished in 2020, and I just really have great and high hopes for 2021. So I just, I don't want to put myself in this scarcity mindset. I do want to indulge. I do want to take that time to unwind and enjoy myself, and what better way than to celebrate on my birthday. So I booked a trip, and that trip cost $1,518.29. I had money in a sinking fund, so I decided to pull from there and pay for the trip with that money. So another unplanned expense was Denver's training. So as you guys know, I recently got a puppy and he hasn't gone through any formal training. I wanted to wait a little bit more. I thought by now things would have been a little bit better, but he's still having a really big nipping problem where he still bites people when he gets too excited or when he's trying to communicate. So that's something I definitely want to fix. And of recent, especially with him getting groomed now, he's starting to pee on his leg. I know that's super gross. So sorry if I offend anybody with kind of sharing that, but I definitely want to train him to pee with his leg up. I'm not a dog professional, so I figured, why not go to the pros and have them teach me exactly what I need to do to make him do what he needs to do. And, I just want to have a good, well-trained dog, and why not just invest in that? So that cost $227.89, and I got that out of his Denver sinking fund. I know that's really for his, emergencies, but, I feel like, I have enough in there, so if there was an emergency at this point, there would be enough to cover that, unless it was some $10,000 emergency. But even that, I have I have my emergency fund to dip into, so I didn't really have the money for that this month, so I figured to just get it from there, and that was fine with me. I purchased my bridesmaid dress, and that was $81.61. I don't know if I mentioned this on camera before, but my best friend is getting married in July, so I purchased the bridesmaid dress. So let's get into the personal care that I really indulged in this year, this month. So I got my nails done. I got a silk press, and I also got my eyebrows done. So that was, I think my nails were around $45. I got my nails and my feet done. My silk press was $100 with the trim and everything, because that includes the tip. Oh, and the nails, I think that includes the tip as well. I don't know the exact value offhand. My eyebrows, I got them threaded, and that was $10. I like to tip my lady as well. And then I also purchased hair products and just household items. As you guys know, I live with my parents, so I try to just get odds and ends for around the house, just because, I'm utilizing the things as well. I also purchased some hair products just to keep my hair moisturized, just because, as you guys know, I deal with dryness. If you haven't checked out any of my hair videos, go do that if you're interested. But yes, that was the unplanned expenses for the month. So let's get into sinking fund contribution. So for the Denver fund, I planned to contribute $275, and I ended up spending, contributing $300. For my vacation fund, I planned on contributing $50, and I ended up contributing $75. For continued education, I planned on contributing $1,000 and I ended up contributing $1,000. And for my emergency fund, I planned on contributing $400 and I actually planned on contributing $500. So for every single sinking fund, I was able to contribute more than I actually planned. So I was happy about that. So let's get into debt. So as you guys know, my Mohila minimum payment is $1,069 and that is what I spent. For Great Lakes, as you guys know, the federal government has paused all student loans, but I just paid $100 into that. And for the extra payment, I planned $655.97 and I only contributed $451.01. So between me overspending on food this month and then also personal care, my debt payoff definitely suffered. So I was kind of disappointed in the fact that I contributed less to debt than I originally planned. Obviously that's something that I want to do, minimize my expenses as much as possible, but I had to give myself some grace just because I feel like self-care is so important. I think going forward I just need to plan my self-care a little bit more so that way I'm not setting myself up for failure. Another thing is when it comes to Denver, I just need to plan a little bit better when it comes to his expenses. I knew I wanted to do training for some time and it was just something that I didn't plan on paper, and I just want to make sure that I'm not doing things without them being planned, just so I'm staying on track and I can actually track my goals and my projections a little bit better. I think going forward, I definitely will plan Denver's expenses and I will also plan my self-care expenses. I haven't really treated myself to a lot of self-care things in a long time since I've started this journey, but I think at this point it's just something that I want to do and I'm going to do even if it costs a little bit more and it kind of slows me down. I think it'll just allow me to show up as my best self, and that's actually what I want to do. And to become that higher level of myself, I think I just need to take care of myself. And similar to continued education where I want to pour into myself, self-care is equally important. I want to make sure I have a full cup and that I'm just taking care of myself overall. I would love to hear how you guys did this month with your expenses. Be sure to leave a comment for me down below. So that's it for today's video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!